Starting early this morning around 9 a.m., friends, family, and supporters of Reverend Jesse Jackson lined the streets to watch his horse-drawn carriage be brought to the State House. Now, currently, I'm standing at the corner canter on Seawood Street, where the price for gas is $2.65 from regular. However, many wonder, why is the cost of gas so cheap? With midterms and finals week right around the corner, cups like this are starting to become more and more essential for college students trying to stay awake and productive for long nights of studying. Bees thrive when blooming plants are healthy, so a prolonged lack of rain is something beekeepers worry about.
When the flowers are not able to secrete that nectar during the spring, it's going to affect honey production. And for the flowers to be able to secrete that nectar, there needs to be moisture in the ground.
But despite that lack of rain, beekeepers say their colonies are still thriving in this weather.
Normal dry weather is good for honeybees during the honey flow because they can get out of the hive. They're not confined during the wet weather.
Bees cannot fly in the rain, so dry days give them more opportunities to leave the hive to go collect pollen and nectar. For the most part, spring showers are good for the environment, but too much rain can also create problems.
If there's too much rain, that rain can wash away the nectar and can also negatively affect honey production. So we really are striving for a balance in all of this.
Bees are among the most important pollinators in the world. As they move from flower to flower collecting nectar and pollen, they help plants reproduce. This process supports flowers, fruits, and vegetables, which are many crops people rely on every day. And as of right now, honey production in the state of South Carolina hasn't gone down due to the drought.
And we're actually seeing a very normal to maybe slightly above honey production.
But if this drought continues, experts say it could begin to affect the hive itself, especially the queen's ability to reproduce.
So the queen knows what's going on out there, and if there's not a lot of pollen and honey, she stops laying as vigorously as she could, and so their numbers decrease.
Beekeepers say several more weeks without meaningful rain can also slow honey production across the state.
If the drought continues like it is for 3 or 4 weeks, then honey production will probably come to a halt.
And to combat this dry spring, beekeepers have started putting out artificial water sources to give bees a place to stay hydrated.
We're having to set up bee watering stations more across our apiary.
For now, beekeepers say South Carolina hives are still holding strong, but if the drought continues, the impact could soon be felt. Reporting in Columbia for Carolina News, I'm Montrio Belton. Starting early this morning around 9 a.m., friends, family, and supporters of Reverend Jesse Jackson lined the streets to watch his horse-drawn carriage be brought to the State House. A procession moved through downtown Columbia as supporters lined the streets early this morning to pay their respects to Reverend Jesse Jackson. Before becoming a national civil rights figure, Jackson was a young activist from Greenville, South Carolina. In the 60s, he was among the Greenville Eight, a group that staged a sit-in in a whites-only library to protest segregation. Doris Wright, a close childhood friend and member of the Greenville Eight, says if she had to sum up Reverend Jackson in 3 words, it would be
energetic, smart, and deliberate.
Wright says the ceremony shouldn't just be about honoring his legacy, it's about inspiring the future generation.
Something that children can look at and say, I too can do that.
The procession ended at the South Carolina State House, where a private ceremony was held in his honor. While many gather in his reflection, some say today isn't about sadness, it's about gratitude.
What this day means, it's not somber because of what he did for our country, and make sure that people know that he meant a lot to us.
Live in Columbia at Brooklyn Baptist Church, I'm Montrio Belton. The University of South Carolina is preparing for a major transformation with new housing and renovations planned across campus. McBride, one of the university's oldest residence halls, is set to be demolished in spring of 2026. In its place, a new residence hall for first-year students is expected to be open by fall of 2028. Some alumni might be upset by the changes, but others, like 97 graduate Toby Chrisley, sent Carolina News a statement saying, "It's a perfect location for the new housing project, and I really look forward to seeing the improved residence halls that will be there. These changes have been happening for years, including the development of Campus Village, which introduced a more modern, suite-style living to university students, which just opened in the fall of 2023. Now, somebody who stayed in Campus Village my freshman year, I've seen what modern housing looks like. And here at USC, they're planning to bring that same experience to more students by tearing down older buildings like McBride.
I think it's a nice addition, as the building was old, so there was its flaws.
The project is part of the USC Next plan, a 10-year effort to modernize campus by demolishing old buildings like Bates House and West and renovating buildings like Honors Dorm. Reporting for Carolina News in Columbia, I'm Montrio Belton. Welcome back to Carolina News. Time for sports. Gamecock football is entering week 6 of spring practice. The Gamecocks are coming off their first spring scrimmage this past weekend, where the offense only turned the ball over one time. Head coach Shane Beamer had this to say about the scrimmage.
I thought they did a really great job of protecting the ball. Y'all have heard me say it. We've turned the ball over too many times over the last few years.
From an offensive standpoint, Coach Beamer said the team did great. But from a head coach perspective, Coach Beamer said this about the defense.
From a head coaching standpoint, hate that aspect of it because it means our defense didn't get the ball out, and we've been really, really dominant over the 5 years that Clayton's been the defensive coordinator.
Offense ran roughly 65 downs, focusing mainly on situational second, third, and fourth down plays. As spring and summer practice continues throughout the year, the team will continue to improve to get better. From the field to the track, the Gamecocks 4x4 team is coming off an historic indoor track season. The team set a school record and won the indoor 4x4 NCAA championship with a winning time of 3 minutes, 2 seconds, and 7/100ths of a second. Second leg of the team, Juswana Dennis, had this to say about heading into the outdoor season.
But the preparation is the same, stay locked in. Every day I go to practice, I just give it my best. You know, me and my boys is still planning to win the outdoor 4x4 national champion.
The biggest difference between indoor and outdoor is your running rhythm and stride. In indoor, you have to focus on faster, sharper, and tighter strides, while outdoor, you can have a more open stride. The NCAA championships will be held at Oregon University June 10th through 13th. While the Gamecock track team is racing toward another record, the golf course will be missing a popular golfer this season. Tiger Woods, who has won 15 major championships, says he is stepping away from professional golf to seek treatment and to focus on health following a rollover car accident last week. Woods crashed his vehicle in Jupiter Island, Florida last Friday and was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. Yesterday, Woods pleaded not guilty to the charges. Make sure you stay tuned the rest of the week for our Carolina News team coverage for our Women's National Basketball Championship run. Back to Becca and Jalen at the news desk.